Fishes!
Welcome, Sidwell.
Yes, sir.
How's it going?
Hey, man. Living. It's going good.
It's going good. You're always living though.
Yeah, man. That's
Always living the best life.
yeah, man.
I think every time I see you, every now and then, we always have those like good catch-ups, but
Yeah.
we always have good conversations.
Yeah.
Whether we're bitching, about
Honest
it and stuff,
conversations.
but honest conversations,
Yeah,
which is always fun.
Also refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you do a lot of work in TV and film. How did you get into?
I do some work on TV and film. yeah.
Seasonal.
Seasonally.
Seasonal.
Yeah. You know.
So what? How did you get into acting?
I think I got into acting when I first started watching Chips.
Okay.
You know, it's like I was like, this is what I want to do. It just felt, even till today, it's like, when I think of why I want to do especially series, I only think Chips.
Really?
I don't understand why. I think it's because of the, it was one of those settings, like, as a family that, we would sit down, like, whenever we would play. I think it was mainly at night, because obviously around that time, in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
It was always around the evening, and obviously TV was only on.
How old are you now?
40. Just turned 40.
Yeah.
Imagine that, huh?
So what? So apart from like Chips, what was like movie wise? What was that like movie that you watched that you were like, shit, like this? I can do this. I want to do this. I know you said that for Chips, but was there any of those movies that you grew up with that those classics that you just loved?
I think it was one of them was probably Back to the Future.
Yeah, classic. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. I love the way that I love the imagination.
Yeah.
And the way that it's fun, and they just take you. It's a lot. It's like
it's a flawless movie. I still think
it's incredible. I mean, I watched the third one like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Actually, probably by the time we send this out, it'll be old. But actually, today they just released the Michael J. Fox documentary. Still, it's actually premieres tonight.
Oh wow.
Which is cool. So it's obviously him about Parkinson's and working through it, and go back to like Back to the Future, making that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'll love to check that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I got into it. I've always loved it. I remember our dad actually, when we were in New York, he bought a camcorder. And
the little 8mm tape, or the VHS tape.
Not the VHS, the little the small tapes.
The mini DV.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you do things naturally, but you don't even know that I'm actually getting into this.
Yeah.
I realized I love the response with camera, and just the way that it captured just how I can play with camera, and then look at and look what was captured. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that this is actually what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I knew that I was interested in this thing.
Yeah.
Whatever it is,
That's kind of how I started like directing, because I was making films. Not that I was not thinking about directing. I was making films because I wanted to act. And my acting was always shit back then. But I was directing. And I was like running the show. And it was actually more for the movie than the actual acting.
This is when you were younger.
Yeah. And I was a kid just like, messing around with the like the video camera that I got from like cash converters. Secondhand. But it's funny how, back when you were a kid and your parents had like a video camera or something like that, and majority of like, it's like like when you watch home movies, obviously it's great to see everybody young and this is what we did and this was Christmas and all that, but like home movies were always like really boring to me, because it's just like somebody walking around going, look, there's mom, there's dad, there's everybody, and going around, and because everybody doesn't know how to act.
There was no creativity also. Like, well, not necessarily creativity, but there wasn't like
it was just
something
like,
exciting.
Yeah, it was just like show and tell.
Yeah,
it was just like, point the camera. But obviously nobody acts how they do normally in real life. As soon as that like camera comes out, so everybody's like, your uncle or your dad,
right.
just just sitting there, nobody knows what to say, or like turn it off, or Or it's like you know, you play that video back and you hear your voice and you're like, oh, I sound fucking horrible. Is that how I sound?
No. With me, I feel like it was kind of like the opposite. It was quite. In fact, till today, when I check out some of my work, and I don't really like it. Looking at myself. I mean, a lot of people say that, but for me, I realize that I actually, I don't know what it is. If it's something that I gotta deal with, it's something that I gotta deal with. But I kind of like that because it keeps me kind of.
Well, you get some actors that don't like watching playback. You know what I mean? I like watching playback.
Yeah.
So I can see, maybe it's the director in me, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I like to see where I'm fucking up and where I need to go.
Yeah.
If I'm, I like, it's almost, obviously you're taking direction from the director, but at the same time, you want to see what you're doing and you'd be like, oh, that doesn't look so good. Or you don't want to edit your performance.
Yeah.
If you have like another take.
Yeah. Last year, this time, I shot Kanji, which is Invasion. And I remember, I think it was the first block that they were opening up. So, open up the first scene, all that, which was great. And obviously very daunting, you know how it is. And I had no idea how it was, man. It had been a minute. This whole seasonal thing is like you get back into the lab every single time. Like every time you start over again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyway, so I remember at some point, I was like, fuck this. Sorry.
No, it's cool.
All right, cool.
Fuck it.
I was like, I gotta see this shit.
Yeah.
Cause man, I am not, when you work, at some point you kind of like mellow down a little bit. You come out a little bit.
Yeah. But you gotta match that energy.
Yeah, exactly, bro. So I remember this time we were breaking for lunch, and I was like, somehow, I went to to check out the back plate, and I went and I looked and I was like, oh, okay,
that's good.
Well, not good, but then again, I didn't want to be too absorbed in that because I still gotta get back on the floor, man.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to see, okay, do I carry on? Do I have am I there?
Yeah.
And when I saw that, it was a sense of relief, just so I can, a sense of confidence for me to just carry on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I know. But on a normal, I do not like watching anything.
Yeah, I think it's just the reason why I do it is it's probably because of the directing thing. Just so I can edit myself in a way where I'm like, oh shit, I'm doing that thing with my eye, or I'm doing this thing with my hand. I'm like, why the fuck am I doing that?
Right.
So it's sometimes I think it's good to look at it.
Yeah.
But again, it's definitely the director thing.
Yeah.
In me, I think.
Yeah.
But what's been your like favorite performance that you've done that you love, that you've work that you've done that you're like really proud of?
I think it was the reenactment series.
Okay.
The first one that I did actually. Well, I was actually one of the leads. What is it? Anyway, I can't exactly get to the name right now, but I love the fact that I played two different characters.
They didn't get They didn't get your twin brother in for that.
You know what I mean? I was the twin.
You were.
I was playing the twins. Yeah. So I like the fact that I was playing this dude that's just innocent, and he's being wrongfully accused, but his one of his lovers, portrays him, in a different sense. So I have to play this guy. And then I have to put, also play the portrayal of that she is actually speaking about. So it was amazing, man. I love playing that crazy shit, man. You know what I mean? And the one thing that I noticed about certain characters is that you have it in you, man.
Yeah.
My mom used to beat the shit out of me as a kid, and I don't even remember. They'll be like, "Yo, you came in the house and you're like." Fucking swearing and shit. And I was like, for real? It's like, damn. You know what I mean?
So did your mom give you a hiding or your dad?
Oh man, mom's. Oh, dad. Dad was like the judge. You know, the father's always the judge.
So my dad had the belt, and my dad was like bodybuilding then, so the belt was like about this about this thick, you know. And then it was the slipper or the hand.
Yeah.
And I turned out all right. You know.
Yeah.
I love my dad.
Yeah.
My dad would always try and come to me and goes, "Come on, son, give me a hug." And I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
And I didn't want to talk to him. It would take me like 10, 15 minutes. But it was because I was a naughty shit.
Yes.
That's why. But
Absolutely.
But then when my mum tried to give me a hiding, she'll be like, "Naughty!" And she's like, hit my mum. I'm like, "Mum, what you doing? What you doing?" Like that. So it's like, if mum was going to give me a hiding, I'm like, "Oh, this is chill. Nothing's gonna happen."
Yeah.
You know, and then for me, it was, I don't even know if I spoke about this in one of the other podcasts, but I remember like me and my brother would sit there, we watch like a Bruce Lee film, and then we start fighting, and then my dad's like, "Don't let me come up there," and then we hear that coming up the stairs, and we're like, "Shit."
Yeah.
And then I remember the one time, it was probably me that was causing the shit. I don't know, me and my brother, and then either one of us would get blamed. And then because I knew my dad was going to come up and give me a hiding, like I just pulled down my pants and sat on the toilet. And then my dad came up and gave my brother a hiding, and he's like, "I'm waiting for you." And I'm just going to take the longest shit ever and just like sit at the toilet. And my mum was like, "He's on the toilet." And I'm like, "Dad, I'm on the toilet." You know, and then I'll just sit there. I'll be like, "I'll let him calm down. I'll just fucking let him calm down. Give him like fucking half an hour. I'll fucking sit here. And by the time I'm finished, when I'm not even shitting, and then I'll come out the bathroom and he'll be like, he'll just have a word with me, you know? And then my brother's sitting there in the other room crying or some shit like that."
Yo, the only ever like, ass whooping that I remember from my dad was just one time.
Yeah.
One time that we came home after the sunset, and I remember,
I like the little details. I remember this one time, it was after the sunset.
Yeah.
The sun went down and shit went down.
Because, the rule is always like, do not come home after sunset.
Yeah.
Never do that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I think he went away, he came back. I think that week he came back, and, so mom's is the one that administers the punishment, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you kind of learn the trickery on how to go around the ass whooping. You know what I mean? It's coming. Yeah. But so we had like a few doors around the house, like passages you can go through here, go through there. Yeah. I remember this. We only speak about things that I remember specifically, like this shit I remember. Yeah. And this was one very specific ass whooping from my mom's. And I remember, like, there's some whatever I did again.
So what was it? That was the hand of the belt?
No. She actually told me this time. "Now go get yourself a stick outside."
Fucking stick. Dude, I'll go pick the smallest fucking stick ever. I'll be like, "Oh, I found this outside."
I did exactly that, and she was like, "No.
Go get that. Go get that branch.
Go.
That looks like a baseball bat over there.
I don't even remember her touching me. If she did, I just acted
knocked you
out.
out.
I was like,
because she knocked you out.
No, really, but you act. I think this is where the acting shit started, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because
this is where it started because we were already doing it.
Yeah. Because obviously, if you were in more pain when you're not, but if you were in more pain and more stuff, it's just like, "Oh fuck, I fucking hit him."
Yeah.
So maybe you'll just get 1 or 2 hits instead of 5 hits instead.
Boom.
Yeah.
And the one from my dad, man, I remember is like. It was, I think, shortly after that we went to the U.S. Anyway, so we came back, after sunset. We were playing soccer. I was a striker, you know what I mean? And we were getting popular at that time. So you know what it is. You're just flaunting some shit at that time. You know what I mean? You're like 8 or 9 or 10. I don't know, bro. Anyway, and I remember, he had this look in his eye, man. He's that guy that goes to work, comes back home. Newspaper, reads.
He's just had a hard day at work and now
he
has to come home to you.
You know what I mean? But this particular day, I remember he had this thing like... "Oh, you guys good? You cool?" No, listen, go say it. Go. You guys, today, you can all sleep by the fireplace. I'll make the fire for you guys. You can even kind of camp out there. It's okay. This is good. For real? Of course. So the lounge had like a door. You once you lock the door, you're locked in. Cool. So we're all in there. Cool. Boom, boom, bam. And I see him coming in with this. So he's hiding something under the blanket and shit like that. And I'm like, But anyway, he's cool. We kind of like we got away with this. You know what I'm saying? So like, all right, cool. This is great. Pops was not mad. You know what I mean? So obviously, the one who gives a sentence.
Yeah.
We're looking at her like, you know what I mean? Well, right. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing's gonna happen,
Dude. Around 3 a.m. I think.
So he was just fucking brewing up all this time.
This was planning, man.
Planning,
Planning, bro.
His head just does a 360, just looking at you and going, "Oh no, he's definitely pissed off."
Yeah. 3 a.m., bro. All I remember hearing was, "Ah!" What did I? By this time, I'm under the table, bro. I think I got because it's like 4 of us, right? Let's see, yeah, 4 of us, but the other ones were too young. I remember I only got like 1 ass whooping, and I was underneath. And you know, you underneath the table, crawling all over the place and shit. You know what I mean?
Just trying to get away.
Of course, bro. The one that caught it the most was obviously the older brother, you know.
Yeah.
But the point is, even at that time, it's like, in order for you to get away with this, you have to put up some kind of act.
Yeah. It's so funny.
You understand? You gotta put up some kind of act.
Yeah. It's just so you don't get the worst.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You don't get the worst of it. Yeah.
You know, so going back to, how did I get into this is so again, I realized I've always loved film. You know what I'm saying? And
your dad just beat you into it.
into it.
He was your agent, started out as your manager, just fucking beated you. You started bringing the money home on the table.
Word. And the beauty of that, he only whooped us once.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
We were in line till today, my nigga. Till today.
But that's one saying, like, when I used to get a hiding, it's because I was a fucking naughty shit.
Yeah.
I didn't hate my dad for ever doing that to me once. I turned out good. It turned out right.
Yeah.
It was because I was a naughty shit.
Yeah.
That's why we got a fucking hide.
Yeah. Discipline, bro.
Yeah.
Discipline.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I did just 1 or 2 courses. I didn't even really study for this whole thing, because I love film so much, and I watched it to a degree that I was learning. You know what I mean? And I've always believed in, because once you check out a lot of movies, a lot of series or whatever, you begin to realize that as the years go by, as the industry grows, as there's more technical aspects that get added on and so forth. So
Absolutely.
they take away from certain natural things that we used to connect with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, how do I do this? I want to do this thing my way. And I want to sort of use my life experiences to bring out certain characters.
Yeah.
So for example, like, the duality of the character that I played, I can recognize where that came from with my actual life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I mean, but this is the thing. It's like, like life experience is so valuable. As all the things as you grow up and you travel or whatever, or the people that you meet and the shit that you go through. I think it's so valuable having all that stuff. Instead of just having a life where everything's great, nothing happens. Or, you know what I mean? It's great to have that stuff that you can draw from. You know what I mean? And not everybody has had great, ups and, I mean, everybody's had ups and downs in their lives and stuff like that. But, certain people have been through more shit than others, or experienced different shit than others.
Everybody got they got their fair share of life. Your share is your share. His share is his share, and his share, I got my share.
Yeah, and then we borrow
and then we
borrow
borrow it.
Yeah.
And then we share it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, bro, and there's something I actually wanted to ask earlier regarding this. But anyway, no. Yeah, but anyway, that's that. So again, as I was saying, that's what I loved about playing those 2 characters, because they actually allowed me to look into certain spaces that were also I rarely ever speak like this, but I'm gonna do it right now.
Yeah.
That were kind of dark, and they kind of came out at that time.
Yeah.
And it was incredible to see that, but also pull back and be like, man, so I got that part of me too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think as you get older, you discover. As you get older, you discover certain stuff about yourself as you're living your life. As you get, especially, we're basically both the same age, and as you're getting older, I mean, it's just like small things sometimes in life where you realize you're getting older. So I remember like a few years back, I started buying like plants and stuff for my garden, and I'm like, fucking hell, I'm getting older. I would never.
Yo, me too,
and
bro.
I was excited about it.
Me too.
And I was excited about it. It's like getting a chili plant. Oh, this is amazing. Gonna make all my chilies and you know, my peppers and all this, and I get excited about it. So there was that where I realized like fucking getting older.
Word.
And then the second one, which I've done in the past, where somebody rang my doorbell and fucking ran off. And I opened it and I couldn't see anybody, and I like closed the door. And then 5 minutes later, the doorbell went again. I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And I ran out the house all like pissed off.
Yeah.
Just like looking, and I saw this kid at the end of the road just looking at me, and I was like, and we just made eye contact, and I went to go for him, and then he fucking ran, and then I couldn't stop laughing because I'm that guy. I'm that guy that comes out of the house.
Dude.
You know, when you used to ring the doorbell, you get that. You would sit there in the bushes and go, check this guy, and you'd be that pissed off person going, Who the fuck rang my doorbell?
Now you're that dude. You're being
dude.
pranked. Dude, I got plans too, like about, I think, 2 years ago, bro. And I was so excited, bro. Like, I was elated, man. I got some more now, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if this is part of you knowing that, getting older, or this kind of reminds us of. Because I remember, when I was younger, like my mom had plants and shit, right? Yeah. So now that I'm getting older, I think naturally I'm getting into that space where I desire a home. I desire more comfort, more stability. So I think those kind of plans kind of represent that kind of stability that we're also getting into now, besides being pranked, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, besides being pranked. But we're also at this age, and maybe also like 5 years back, we're at that age where people start having kids. People starting to get married. Yeah. I mean, in England, a lot of people have kids like a lot younger. So I remember when I left school, people like were shitting out kids like straight away. Yeah. And now that's like fucking many years ago. But again, now in your life, you're starting to see people getting married. Your friends and all this, and then sometimes I'm like, I just don't know if I'm ready for that yet.
Yeah.
I have a girlfriend and everything, and I love it to pieces. Yeah. And and it's like, I mean, when it happens, it happens. Yeah. But I'm not like, it's not on my brain. Yeah. But then here and there, I think maybe I should be getting married now, or when is it right to have a kid? Yeah. And I don't think it's ever. I don't think anybody's ever ready to have a kid. It just,
I keep hearing that, man.
It just happens.
I keep hearing that.
When my brother had a baby, not physically my brother having a baby, but when my brother had a baby, he rang me up and he goes, "I've got something to tell you," and I was like, "She's pregnant," and he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "How do you know?" And I was like, "Because you've never rang me up to say something like what you just said." Wow. And I'm like, "How do you feel? What's going on in your head?" And he's like, "Oh, I fucking shit myself. It's fucking crazy." Yeah. And then as soon as the baby's born, he's like, "Oh, this is amazing. It's like the best. It's like the best thing ever," and stuff like that. So it's just, it's just when you think about all these things, it's crazy. It's like they say, like, a lot of people say, women want to have kids at like around a certain age and not obviously in their 40s and stuff like that. So it's just crazy to think when is the time to do it, and then it's the pressure. Is this the right person? Yeah. Am I going to regret this, or if this is great, or there's all those things. And again, like when my other friend had a baby, I'm like, how are you feeling? Like what's going through your head? Like I want to know all these like thoughts and experiences.
Even with some friends that that I've also one of my friends recently got married too, and first thing I was like, well done, man, and he did his own thing. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, that's great. So how do you feel, man? Yeah. What's happening?
And some of them just say,
what is it? And like, look, you see how I'm looking in your eyes right now? Like, I'm really trying to figure out, how does it feel?
Yeah. No, me too.
Tell me.
I just want to know that information.
Tell me.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yo,
and then
man.
It's you know what? Years ago, I went through a phase where I'm like, I'm not going to get married. I mean, it's like, you sign this paper and this and this and this, and I just thought, I'm probably never going to get married. I think, you can still love somebody, you can still live with somebody, you can still, some people get married and then they get a divorce down the line. It's like when boyfriend and girlfriend, and then they move in and then they end up breaking up or something like that. So there was all these little, little things that like pop into my head. But then it's also, I went to a friend's wedding like about, I don't know, like 10 years ago or something, and I completely changed my mind after that wedding. I was like, he was standing there, and then she came around the corner. She was crying her eyes out. He was crying he was crying his eyes out. It was just such a nice thing, and I was just like, it was actually such a nice moment for these two people, and I'm like, fucking hell, this is it. This is hectic, and it was so nice, and I kind of after that, I kind of like changed my mind, going, you know what, some people go, I can't love you any more, than I already love you. And then if I get married, I'm not going to love you more. I'm still going to love you exactly the same. But I think there is something else with sharing that with somebody. You know what I mean?
I agree, bro. Yeah. And to be honest with you, like, it's interesting that, at this time in our lives, let's say as men, or let's say you said earlier, we're more or less the same age, right?
Yeah.
And in the same industry, and more or less same kind of thought patterns. I feel like it's so important for us right now to actually be discussing these kind of values. Like, where do we sit?
Some people didn't talk about it.
No, really, exactly.
Well, that's why I think me and you are like, when something happens to one of your friends, goes, tell me what you're feeling.
Yes,
what's going through your head. Do you want to kill yourself? Or like, what's going on,
Right. What drove this decision? What's happening now, and so forth and so. And a lot of people, that have gotten married and have gotten kids, they're like, yo, dude, like, I realized, like, before I got married or I made this decision, or before I had a child, there were so many of these other things that were going on. And it's like things somehow, some way, once they make that decision, like, it's a deliberate decision, of course, an intentional decision, right? It's like somehow, some way, things tend to fall into place.
Yeah, they just fall into place.
It's just like...
I know directors that has struggled, and then all of a sudden they've got married and their life is like right at the time, and all of a sudden they just start getting work, and they start
you understand,
rising,
bro?
Yeah. And then there's other friends that's like having babies, and they're like their pull out game is terrible because they just start having babies, and I'm like, oh my god, So it's just like, at what point are we going to be ready for this? I think I'll adopt. I have no problem with adopting, because what I'll do is I'll just like adopt like a 6-year-old or a 5-year-old, and then we'll just skip like the whole pregnancy, the not working, hair being moody, or all that shit. You just like cut all that out.
You're ready.
Edit that out, and be like, cool. And then you can just be like one-on-one with your kid, talking to them. Right, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that,
right?
and then it's done.
Well, you get it when they're ready. You know what I mean? And really, bro, I think it's because we're in a different time frame in our lives, isn't it? It's almost just like we need to. There's so much that has been said in society about marriage, about relationships, about sexuality. Everything is being defined, and there's also so much that has also been said. Also, when it comes to like men, it's like, and men in general. It's like we are just these things now. These what are you? Why are you here? What?
No, exactly.
I think it's so important for us to like readdress where we are now. And simply by discussing these things that we're discussing, how do we actually feel as opposed to the sayings and the quotations
but like,
and
life,
all that?
Don't you
that
think
heard,
like
right?
life is different now compared to when we were younger? I mean, anybody can say that, but like the world is different to what it used to be. Like there's different jobs that weren't even thought of back in the day when we were kids. They're teaching different things at schools. There's it's just different. I think it's just different, and it's. I think we just live in a different world to, what we used to live in when we were kids. It's like our parents or your grandparents. They got married like super young. They had kids super young, and it's just a different time. It's like old schoolers will be like, you should get married, and you should do this, and why haven't you got a girlfriend yet, or haven't you got a boyfriend yet? And it's just like, and that doesn't even come as like a pressure. You're just like, no, I'm going out, like and going partying this weekend or whatever. But it's that time when like it's only as you get older and you appreciate certain things. Like it's like it's sad and so horrible. I remember like my mum and dad wanting to spend time with me, and I'm like 16, 18. I'm like no, I'm going out. And they just wanted to hang out with you,
right?
And then you just like you're too busy with your mates. But as you get older, you want to spend more time with your folks, and you want to, you want to be around them more, and you appreciate them a lot more. When it comes to, certain things. It's like I was talking about like load shedding or saving electricity. Like when I was a kid, I had all the lights on, had the TV on, had the music playing, and your mum and dad would come in and go, "What the fuck is going on?" Like start switching all the lights out and everything. Yeah. And I think just. It's just like dating. Like dating's not the same as before we had all these fucking apps and all this. You would literally just go to a coffee shop, or you would go out and you would meet somebody like in a normal way. That shit doesn't happen anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, I think if you're going to meet somebody decent, it's either like at a wedding, at a braai, at a friend's house party, or that it's rare that happens. When you've got all these like dating apps, and I think guys are always more scared to go up to a girl. You know what I mean? I think there's more pressure on a guy going up to a girl than the other way around.
Definitely.
Because we don't want to get broken down.
Definitely.
We don't want to get rejected.
Definitely.
So it's like a completely different thing. It's just a complete different thing. And that's why I think most people, obviously it happens, but I think most people don't meet people like organically anymore. You can go to like a place in Cape Town and everybody's like got their clicks, and you're like, you're not in the click, so we're not going to speak to you. And it's just different, And that's why I think everybody's just on apps and they're just going yes, no, fucking yes.
Do you think that has to do with the fact that that now I believe I haven't checked out the statistics, but the fact that the working world now it's not entirely balanced with more female workers than has ever been. You know what I mean? Like they're involved in not just in one sector of the industry, which is whatever that was back then. Let's say factory workers or whatever. Yeah. Now they're in film. Now they're it's in pretty much everything. They own stuff, and women have been owning things for quite some time. Sometimes I also feel like it's actually bullshit that it seems as if. This could be subject to judgment, which is why we're talking about this, that women have been doormats and just cooking and shit like that for hundreds of years. Yeah. I've been questioning philosophy, but it's like, but how did we have queens then? How did we? You're telling me that as a cultural man that had to go out, or let's just say as a man. Let me not use culture because. Everybody used to eventually go out to fend for some food, right? Yeah. So, and now I need to bring something home. Who exactly ran the camp? Yeah. You understand? Who actually advised me on what I must do? Yeah. Let's say because men had to come up with ideas because they are stronger physically to protect the community. Yeah. So, do you know how much strength women have had throughout society? Yeah. Dude, I can see it in my family. Yeah. You understand?
Definitely.
Most of the decisions that
my gran was like a strong woman. Like she was like, a very strong woman. She had businesses like her whole life. She owned like cinemas and hotels and it's crazy. She was always the businesswoman. Even when towards the end of her life, and she's on a deathbed, basically, she was like, make sure you pay this person. But she wants to physically also like pay them because she's the boss lady. And it's like, oh no, we'll take care of it. No, like she wants to do it. Wow. So she spent her whole life doing that. But anyway, getting back to like relationships and stuff like that, it's just like I think guys give a lot of compliments to like women a lot of the time. If somebody has a beautiful dress or a beautiful hair or whatever, you say, oh, you look great, or you look amazing. And I think girls get quite a lot of compliments. Dude, guys never get fucking compliments. No. Like if we get a compliment, it'll be like 10 years ago and go, I fucking remember that compliment. And you'll fucking remember that. It'll be like 20 years ago and I remember this girl said, I like your smile. Yeah. Or I like your eyes. And you're like, I fucking remember that. It was the last time somebody said to me, it was like 10 fucking years ago.
And that's that moment is like, maybe I should. Okay, she gave me a compliment. Immediately it's like, it boosts that, the confidence, like, so.
I didn't even think that. I'm just more like, oh my God, somebody said something nice to me,
with me, it's like, and I remember, we'll go in there, huh? Hey, tag nabbit. I remember like, let's say with my
be careful careful what you say.
Hey, be careful what you say. But listen, we know with my current woman right now.
Current girlfriend.
With my woman, actually, with my woman. Right?
With your woman, not
Yes.
women.
Not my woman,
Okay,
not
well.
my. Watching. It's like the whole thing that we talked about, the dating scene of being around familiar territories like a house party, an event, whatever the case may be, and the relationship that formed from there was due to those circumstances. It's like we just rubbed shoulders. You gave me a compliment. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I mean, I like you too, so, you know what I mean? And now, and I've realized with time that maybe that was not necessarily the right thing to do, or actually to go under, to accept, Maybe now I was like, I think I would like to go back to my decision making when I was a child.
Yeah.
I was like, what did I always want?
Yeah. But back then you didn't have anything to worry about.
You
when
understand?
You were a kid, the only thing you were worried about is if you had a test in school.
Yes.
That was like it.
Or somebody that's probably gonna bully
It's Sunday
you.
night and but unless you get bullied. Sorry for all the bullies. But it was like, it would be the next day, like, oh, I've got school, but nothing else. You were just like playing with your toys.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I think it's just this whole thing of getting older, getting wiser,
Yes,
more experience
absolutely.
with life, and it's just you get wiser.
Yeah.
You get wiser, and things, like just things change. I mean, I remember.
And speaking of older and wiser, right? With where we are right now, let's just use us, as a platform. You know what I mean? Do you think that you are now in a particular space where you can make decisions regarding what we're talking about right now without anything attached, like some kind of emotional manipulation attached? Do you think now you're in a space where I think I can make a decision whether or not now I can get married? Well, irrespective of whether you have a woman or not, if you take yourself out of that space,
I don't know. I think
What do
it's
you
just
think?
like an organic thing. I'm not going to think in next year I want to do it. I do feel like there's a bit of a pressure inside of me where I think it's the natural thing to do. When you find that person that you love. I mean, before my girlfriend, I was single for many years after I was hit by one girl, and I spent many years, just playing the field and having fun, and then also get to a point where I'm like, I just want somebody to love. I just want somebody to love me, and I just want to be with one
Naturally,
person,
right?
And,
That's
and,
natural.
And I just want that. Right. And then before I was thinking that a lot of the time when I was single, but then also. I also went on the dating apps, and then you tell them your story, and you meet somebody else, and you got to tell them your whole fucking story again. And then it was just like, it's just a weird, non-organic thing to do. And then even like when I was younger, well, not younger, just like a while back, just meeting new people. Like, I just hate that whole chase thing, or want too much wanting to meet somebody.
Yeah.
Like I felt like somebody, I would just sit in a wheelbarrow, and somebody will like pull me into the bar, push me into the bar, and then I go, that one. and just wheel me over. I'm like, great, let's go. And that's it, because it just can't be asked with the whole bullshit and chit-chat and all that. And it just, like, you don't know when you're going to meet somebody.
Yeah.
And then it just happens. And then you're like, oh, cool, we're happy. And
I think this is why I was saying that, and again, this happened when I was, 30, 39, 38, that now I decided, I was like, look, man, let me go back to what I initially thought would be something for me. And I cleared my mind. I was like, what is it?
Yeah.
Without putting so many things, my experience into whether it was bad or good or whatever, without any of that, what is it that I think would be good for me?
Yeah. You just gotta be happy, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's the important thing. Like, you gotta be content. You just gotta be happy. And finding happiness is not always fucking easy.
No,
You know?
even
And relationships are not always easy.
dude. Even though we are in an industry that we love,
Not everybody understands that industry, that's
dude,
for sure.
that is work, bro.
Yeah, it's work.
You know, it's for to me. It's kind of it's not. I'm not saying work is the same thing as in a relationship, but it's like it's nice for you to get into a field that you love, and I think that we should, But even that field needs nurturing. Even that field needs attention. Even that field will piss you off.
Yeah.
Even that field will have all kinds of these attributes, and that you need to work on.
It's the high and lows, dude.
Yeah, man.
It's all the in between. It's the highs and lows, and that's why we say like when we're actually doing our shit on set, dude, we're not even on set for that long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we're acting, we're not. We're there and we're gone.
Yeah.
Within hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's the whole thing. I feel that as I've got older, I get more emotional about certain things. So I was having a conversation earlier. I was like, what was the last movie that you like cried to? What was the last movie that you watched and you were just like,
this guy.
So, but I remember like it was. I just watched Guardians of the Galaxy, the new film, and that tugs on those heartstrings quite a few times. Like, I went to watch it with Keegan, and we were sitting there, we're going, "Oh, this is like, this is fucking hectic." And it was like so sad. It's like, but great movie, great entertainment, a lot of heart in the movie. But I don't know if you saw that movie, Life is Beautiful.
No.
Italian movie. That's a great movie, but it's like it's so sad and it's so funny and it's just mixed emotions, but like a fantastic movie. And then there was that, I don't know if you saw that animation Inside Out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, there was what was the character called again?
It's the imaginary friend.
Yeah, it was just like imaginary friend, and she's trying to get out of this crater ditch or something, and they're singing the song, and I can't remember the character's name now. I'll think of it. Anyway, so the...
I feel like it's been a minute since I've seen it.
Okay, just Google it and I'll just... what was it? It's not Bling Bling. It's...
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Bing bong.
Bing Bong. Okay, I'll start the story again. So, then there was that the animation Inside Out. And that, it's animation as well, and they've got a lot of heart in those movies. And I remember sitting there with my ex-girlfriend, and we were watching it, and there was this character called Bing Bong, and they have to sing this like song to get out of this crater, so they can fly and go over this thing, and then they keep trying to sing, and then they fly, and then they fall back, and then they try again, and then it was like this one last time, we're gonna do this, and there's this character Bing Bong in it, and Bing Bong doesn't make it, and I'm like, oh my god, it was so fucking sad. It was so fucking sad. My girlfriend's looking at me going, "Are you crying?" And I'm like,
Yo, bro,
like Bing Bong fucking died. It was like so fucking sad.
Dang.
But it just shows you like, what, and it just shows you how powerful like a film can be, because there's all those, you can watch something that can be really sad and then you cry, or it's a certain character and you feel sorry for them and you cry, and then there's stuff like it'd be like Jerry Maguire or something, and it's those heartful big moments where you're like, oh fucking go on, you can do it, do it, and it's that life moment that means so much to that character, and you're like, fuck, and you're there with them, and you're rooting for them, and I just think as you get older, me personally, I think I've just got more, like I'll be sitting there watching something going, oh my god, this is so fucking sad, and I'll be crying, over,
This is very interesting, bro, because I don't know about if,
Have you seen the movie The Click? It's Adam Sandler with the remote control.
Yes, I have seen it, yeah.
So that film, I remember watching it years ago, and it was like six guys sitting in the room and watching this, and there was the whole thing where he keeps skipping his life.
Yeah.
And it was like there was important scenes with his dad, and his dad had this trick where he had this coin and he used to hide it behind his ear, and then there was this one scene where he's like, do you want me to show you how to do the trick? And he goes, I know how you do it, and this and this. And he doesn't even look at his dad. So then after his dad passed away, he was like, take me back to the last time I saw my dad. And it was that moment where he didn't even look at his dad. And then there's the one scene where he's dying, and you're just like, it's so fucking depressing, but it really makes you, think back to the past about with your folks and where you are today with your folks. And it's just like, you got to ring them. You got to pick up the phone. You got to ring your mum and dad.
man.
I speak to I know people have different relationships with their parents. Some nag, some say this. But I speak to my mum and dad like often. Like I'll probably speak to mum like nearly every day, and it's just like nothing crazy. It's just like, hey, how's it going? What are you doing today, or whatever? And we chit chat.
That's one of the things that I feel like I need to actually do more now, and it's something that I've actually said I am gonna
ring your dad.
I'm gonna hit him up regularly, but
you got it, man. You got it. You know how much that shit means to them, dude. It means so much. It's like it means a lot to them. I know it does. And I want to do it. I'm not doing it just because of them.
No, for real,
I want to do it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I think is that part, when I had my 40th, like, in March, and I saw them, bro. They're older, and you start asking yourself questions. I think this is where the age thing that you're talking about comes in. Because sometimes, it's like, I don't know where the age thing comes in. Like, is this happening because of the age thing? Yeah. Like, for example, now let's go back to the watching emotional scenes and stuff like that. Dude, I'm watching, like, right now, my lady and I were watching the Blacklist. Yeah. The way that the one of the main characters, Reddington, the way he delivers certain things, bro. And then they dude, sometimes, but man, you did it also like a few times right now. I'm looking at you like, damn, son, I'm not alone. Shit. That's bro, literally, like, she'll be right here, right? She'll be right here, right? Yeah. And it's not, I'm just making one example, bro. Yeah. You talking about anime, I love animation too, so I watched Sing 2 also. Yeah. And I remember, there was this particular scene, and, and this dude is just going, and, his tears are not coming. They're kind of like literally ending by the
just hanging on.
Dude, and then he pulls it back, and then he goes down, he goes again. And I was like, dude, I remember, I was like some shit happened. I'm like, you know what I mean? Because I don't even want to do this. Because she will see. Yeah.
And they always look up to the side.
No, bro. And my thing is, at that moment, I remember every single time I look at her, and I'm like,
yeah, you can't put your hand up. You can't do it.
Like, aren't you feeling that? Yeah. And I'm not gonna ask that.
But all she hears is this little shake, this like that, and you're trying to hold it. Little swallow.
Dude. But I honestly, perhaps you're right. But now when I'm watching anything, and something like that comes up, dude, I've been wondering, like, what is wrong with me?
Yeah, dude, I find it more often than over the past few years. I find it like a
me
lot.
Too, bro.
I find it
it's
like
just,
a lot. When it was a while back, like I said, when we watched The Click, and it was 6 guys, we're all sitting there. As soon as we turn the lights on, all of us were like, "Oh, fucking hell!" all of us, all like that, because we know it all hit home. We all know that we don't spend enough time with the folks.
Wow.
And that's why you got to cherish those moments.
Yeah.
You got it. Yeah. And like my gran passed away like a year ago now, and she spent. I got her to come from Joburg down to Cape Town, and I looked after her for like 4 months, and I saw her every single day, and I took her out to eat, and brought her home, and got takeaways for her or made food for her. And I know that was the last part of her life, but I loved it so much, spending time with her, for those 4 months, and trying to making her laugh, and just having a fucking great time. And it was those last 4 months was like amazing. Wouldn't trade it for anything. And I got to be with my gran properly for seeing her every single day for 4 months. And then my dad came down for the last 3 weeks, and we had the best 3 weeks ever, and you can't, you can't trade that for anything, Yeah. And I just think it's like so important, because as you get older, your folks are getting older, your grandparents are getting older, and it's sad, dude. It's sad seeing that, happen in front of your eyes. And because, when you think about the last 7 years of your life, dude, it's gone quick. It's gone fast,
How what has it done, like, to you? Like, what?
Yeah, I live in the past like a lot of the time, which is a bad thing. I always think, it was so cool back then. It was this, and we had this, and we were doing that. And sometimes I struggle to be in the present. But then when I think about like work-wise, which work is everything in my life, and that's what I love the most, and that's what makes me happy the most. The past 16 years living in South Africa has been the best part of my life for work. You know, just doing what I love doing, and then you also have the dips and stuff like that. But that's also just life. You know how it is.
Hey, life, bro. You know, I'm not sure if it's this age thing, but you know, there's this thing that sometimes, you know, when I'm going around, when I'm in an Uber or whatever, you know, I look at, you know, people doing their thing or whatever, and I'm like, man,
People
do you
won't.
like realize that we like how fragile life is,
Dude, it's short, dude. It's short.
It's like I don't know why, like, you know, I it's not that, you know, I concentrate on that a lot, but it's just, I don't know, it's like it just comes to me, and I'm like, man, and I see, like, you know, like especially where I'm staying, like in you know, in the location, and I just see, you know, young people like just doing their thing, walking around with like
That's why they haven't got any worries.
And shit.
They're not thinking about life like we're thinking about life, and that's why I think with younger people, they're just, you know, I'm talking like, you know, 8-10 years younger than us. They just don't get it yet. You know, maybe some of them do, but some of them don't get it yet because you've experienced more life than them, and they just don't. They're not thinking about those things yet. But when they get to your age, they'll understand what the fuck you were talking about. But even going back to like your parents and everything, I remember, you know, I remember my dad's like 40th, and I'm like, you know, I'm like 40 next year, this year. So it's like, I remember when my dad was 40, and that's like fucking crazy. To think that he had 2 kids, he had a house, he had a business, insane. And I'm like, I haven't got any of that shit. Yeah. You know? So it's like crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
And you know, you speaking of that, you know, I actually want to touch up on that, and it's like, you know, I think and this is no excuse, of course, but you know, sometimes we create this idea, you know, and this vision in our minds of, you know, hopefully by this time, or rather, you know, I want to accomplish this so that I can actually present this to, like, you know, mom and dad and stuff like that. But you feel me though, right? Yeah. So now I feel like, you know, maybe one of the reasons why, and I think a lot of people, you know, feel this way. It's like, the last time I went to see my parents was last year, but before that was like 5 years before that. You understand? And it's like, it's that sense of, yo, man, I mean, going back, it's like, you know, obviously look at your dad, and like, yo, when he was this age, he was like 35, he was like doing this, doing that. Yeah. And I'm like, man, like, what do I have to present, man? You know what I mean? You know, crazy, so you know, in terms of like even the calls and stuff, bro. Yeah. Honestly, I wanted to touch up on that, but now it came back naturally. You know, it's like I want to call, but sometimes it's like, you know, I know at first my mom's gonna say, "Hey, son, I'm good," but you know, hey, the fees by the doctor. Yeah. And you know, my car needs some service.
Yeah, I just want to talk to you, Mom. Like, I don't want to hear about all this. I don't want to hear about your problems, Mom.
And the thing is, I love that. I don't mind that, but it's one of those things where it's like, I wish we could get that stuff out of the way, because that's one of the things that you also remember growing up, hearing through life when life dipped. Yeah. You know, I'm trying to say, which is what create a lot of character. You know, why we make certain decisions now, because we know the struggles, we know
Dude,
the
like
losses and the
one of my
gains,
biggest dreams is to make enough money to buy my mum like a business or a house, or my dad.
Same here.
And just like sort them out and be like, you're sorted. I've still got the rest of my life to live, to still make money and to still do that. I just want you to have fun. I just want you to enjoy yourself. I don't want you to stress. I don't want you to think about all this crap. And I just want you to like have fun and just be chilled.
Same here.
Yeah.
So you know when it comes to the calls and stuff, it's like, you know what I mean. It's like there is that. Although I know I should not think that way, but I do, bro. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Life's different now for you at this age, because when it was like 25 years ago, and you would ring your mum or your dad up, they go, "What do you want?"
Yes.
What do you want?
Yes.
You obviously ring them because you want something. Yeah. Well, I saw this thing and it's only £10, or you know what I mean. So there'll always be like something of like, "What do you want?" Yeah. You know. So, and that's changed. Now I don't want fucking anything from them. I just want to talk to them.
Yeah.
So
I know, you know, you're right, bro. It's I think also we don't think about, you know, what the commodity is right now. Yeah. You know, because the commodity is what you said earlier is, do you know how much they appreciate that, man?
Yeah, it makes their day, dude. It makes their day. Like,
and literally, and I've heard my dad saying this. Yeah. Yo, dude, do you know my dad is still, he's what, 83? I think he turned 84, I think. Yeah. Dude, he's still
clubbing,
studying,
still
bro.
going out, still crazy. still getting all the girls. It's crazy. It's like, it's madness.
Dude, he's still doing his thing. Like you
Still
said,
getting laid. still doing all that crazy shit. You know?
they might watch this.
Is he still married to your mom?
He's still
Okay,
similar to my
good
mom.
man.
You know what
Good
I mean?
man. Yeah.
And you know, and dude, and you know, he sent me like a certificate that he just received from UCT like late April.
Yeah.
And he's like, son, look at like never give up, my son. Yeah. You know, and it's moments like that. It's like, yo, this dude understand what's going on.
He's fucking
you know what I mean?
84,
Dude.
84, and he's still,
He's still grinding,
Dude,
bro.
the day you stop fucking working or giving a shit, dude, that's when you're gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
As soon as you've got nothing to do,
Yeah.
you know, this is what you're living for, you know, unless you're living for your family or whatever. But, you know, people need something to do. Whether you're old and you're not working, but you've got, like, the grandchildren or whatever. Like, you need something.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise...
I think that's why they're
what you're holding on
always
for.
asking us for ground. You know, I got there's 5 of us. There's 5 boys.
Yeah.
And I think our youngest brother is the only one with a child.
Yeah.
None of us have children. So you know they're like, yeah, you know.
Is your mum and dad, like, waiting for that, like, kid?
Can you imagine, bro? Like, you know, so when my 40th. So when are we getting us some grandkids?
Like my mom.
So you're right. They're all waiting for something.
Yeah, they are. You know, they are. So like my mom's always said like, so I've got my cat, and my brother's got his dog. So my mom's always been like, I guess that's the grandchildren, you know, the cat and the dog, you know. And then even now with my brother with a kid, we're still like, I can't believe my brother's got a kid, you know. I can't believe it. And it's like amazing, you know.
Wow.
So
yeah,
crazy. But anyway, dude, let's tie this up.
Yes, sir.
Dude, I could talk to you for fucking hours.
Yeah, man.
So, dude, it was great chatting to you. Thank you for coming on.
always sure
And
thing.
yeah, it was fun.
Sure thing, man. My man.
Cool.
Wow. Fishies!